do this. Welcome to another Ask Me Anything Live. We'll see if it's a lazy day, if anybody shows up. But Crystal, you're here if you've got questions or if I can help you. And I see Haley as well. Feel free to chime in if you've got a question. I see Haley.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Thank you.
Good. Welcome.
Thank you. It's my first time here, so I'm so excited to get to chat with you.
Good. Well, I'm so glad you joined. Some days these are really busy, and some days they're kind of lazy. So
yes,
perfect. I know, it's great. So,
yeah.
Where are you at in the world, Haley?
So I'm in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. Yes.
Awesome.
And I'm with two other women. We just purchased your workshop.
Oh yes, that's right. And remind me your work, what you guys do.
We're pelvic health physical therapists. And we're creating that online content.
Yes.
So we finally got to sit down this past week and go through all the disclaimers and the wording and stuff. So we just had a few questions regarding the disclaimers, just to make sure we're not taking anything out we should, or if it's okay if we added something in. So just wanted to chat with you really fast about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to help.
Great. Do you want us to wait a few minutes, or?
You're fine. So I always, I record these. I hit record, I think, before you fully connected. And then, I just share them so that other people can benefit. I publish them to my YouTube channel. And so, the caveat is that nothing that I say here can be construed as legal advice, not in the group context. But, as far as information that I would give generally about legal issues, that's what we use this call for.
Wonderful. That's good to know. So I can go find your YouTube page just to see if there's anything.
There's a time. I mean, I started this back in March when COVID hit.
Yeah.
So I've been doing it. Aside from a couple of holidays, I've been going live every Monday, for an hour. Sometimes people have kept me on for over an hour, like 90-minute sessions asking questions. Yeah. So my big push this year is to really help people get online.
Well, that's so smart to do, because obviously that's what we did, was we were like, people aren't coming in necessarily for appointments right now. So the more we can give online, the better. So that was so smart of you to do what you're doing. And one thing about you recording them is when you have multiple people on, someone might ask a question where you're like, oh, I didn't even think to ask that. So
that's exactly it. We've had lots of calls like that. And the good part of what I'm working on right now is because I've got probably 15 or 18 hours of these basically Q&As. I'm going to chop them up and have them available as specific questions, so people will be able to. Anyways, I'm working on that, actually, creating it so that people can go right to the questions that they need.
Great. Because I feel bad. I might ask some that you've already answered.
No. That's okay. That's the purpose every week, is just to see what people need that week and try to help them out.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Well, the first questions I had was actually regarding the website terms and conditions, terms of use page. So I had kind of three main questions for you. The first one being, we were a little confused on what the line regarding, I apologize, I could tell you what page it's on.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
By you, if any, for the right to access or participate in any activity related to the website, or $100. Is that, do you need me to read a little bit more, or does that?
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. So, So in the United States, you cannot, there are some states, right? So this is the trick with interstate online commerce, right? No state law is the same. I mean, some are very similar, right? Others are not. And so some states do not allow what is called, oh, Crystal, hello. I wondered if it was that Crystal Rose, but I couldn't see you.
I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second.
No, you're okay. Crystal, how are you? Oh, I can't hear you. Let's see what's happening to your sound.
Sorry about that.
No, you're right. My friend Crystal, who I haven't seen in a few years, jumped on.
Oh, wow. That's
I know.
awesome.
So fun. Hang tight with us, Crystal. I'm going to answer her question.
How about now? You hear me now?
Now I can hear you. Yes. Excellent. Welcome. So happy to see you. Oh, now I can't hear you. I know. I lost your sound again. All right, Haley, really quick, back to your question. And you can type a question in the chat as well, Crystal. If I can't hear you, I'm happy if you've got a question or if there's something I can help with. We use the chat a lot for folks that can't go live. But Haley, in regards to your question, so certain states do not allow what is called a blanket waiver of liability, like disclaiming all liability. So you have to have what's called a nominal damages clause. And that means that if something goes wrong and you do something or say something, or in the course of your services or information you provide on your website, you cause somebody harm, there has to be a nominal amount available to them as damages. You can't just disclaim all damages in every state.
Okay.
And so what that portion of that paragraph is saying at the end is that your liability and that they're talking to the website user, the liability of you to any website user is going to be limited to the lesser of what they have paid, if any, or $100.
Okay.
So it's a way of allowing you to, in states where it's relevant, disclaim as much liability as possible, but in states where you're required to have a nominal damages amount, a nominal damages clause, you have something stated.
Okay, so we definitely want to keep that. So thank you. I was like, I have no idea what that means. So
it's a good question. It's a confusing issue, but the trick is trying to draft a document that allows somebody to do business in all 50 states.
Well, I'm very impressed with what you came up with then. Which brings me to my next question, which is the wonderful state of California with all their additional rules and stuff like that. You have your paragraph in here regarding California consumer rights.
Yep.
And one of the things it says is for more information to contact us via email. So we added our email address. However, we currently right now don't have a P.O. box or anything specific for it.
Yes, you can take out any of the others. So long as they can contact you online via email, that's going to be sufficient. You can take out the mailing address or whatever else.
Okay. I didn't know with California if that was going to be necessary. But I was like, I don't really want my home address on.
Yes. A lot of my clients are just providing emails in that spot.
Okay. Thank you so much. Do we have Crystal yet?
Yeah, well, Crystal's here. That's okay, though. We can answer another question. These are going pretty fast.
Okay. And then I had a question regarding your information on the bottom. So your copyright and everything like that. I'm assuming these are your words, so that stays specifically on there.
That's right. It does a couple things. One is that somebody's going to hit that copyright notice and they're going to go, oh, okay, I probably shouldn't take these. They were prepared by a lawyer, right? So it protects me, but it also protects you secondarily because they go, oh, she worked with or at least paid for documents from, prepared by an attorney. It lets people know you've taken care of your business and you've got eyeballs on your work, and also that I do and that those are my documents. Because what I've had happen in the past is, like, say somebody is doing a business like yours and they hit your website, they will just go steal those documents and put them on their own website.
Yes.
You paid for them. They're my words. And so, that copyright notice helps us both.
Great. Okay. That's what I was assuming. When I was going to other websites, like kind of checking them out, I never saw that. So I was like, I think we have to keep that though, because these are your documents.
Yeah, so. You will see that on some sites, not always, but you will see it where basically, in some of the larger sites that actually prepare legal documents, like through database forms, will have that as well. But great question.
Great. Okay. We will definitely keep that then too. So then my last question when it comes to the website terms and conditions is, are you comfortable if we were to just add like one sentence of our own?
Oh, totally. These documents. What I tell people is, like, consider this your base set of documents, but they really grow with your business. They should be a fit for your business. It's a working document, right? So it can evolve. You can add stuff if you need to, right? The base version is what I care about, that I prepared, that language is protected. But no, it's your documents. You can revise it. You can add language that you think is relevant.
Great. Thank you. Yeah. Just us being all licensed physical therapists, we just wanted to have specifically in there that this is general information, even though this content was created by us. So we just added that one line. So, okay. Totally. Great. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all I have on that. When it came to the privacy policy, there were some interesting things on there when it comes to like Facebook. And people like kind of signing the right that we give them the right of like tracking them on Facebook. Does that ring a bell? Let me pull that document up. I apologize.
Yeah. So you're targeting. Okay. So the gist of the privacy policy is you are disclosing to your clients what information you collect, how it's collected, right? How you keep it safe, how they can opt out or have their information removed. What you're talking about is the retargeting. So if you're going to engage in Facebook ads, which most people do, if you're going to, do anything where you are showing people advertisements, especially on third-party sites like Google ads, like Facebook, Instagram, that language is in there to protect you. You're letting them know, like, yes, we will be presenting you with information on other platforms. Right. And if you want out, so the Facebook piece and the piece you might be talking about is that some people know when they're using Facebook that they can click that teeny little X on an ad that they find obnoxious and say, don't show this to me again. Some people don't.
Oh, right.
And so your ads could follow them around on Facebook, and it also could annoy them depending on how people feel, right? I mean, this is just the reality of advertising. And so that's where with your targeted Facebook ads, you'll see a section that says that if they email you, right, to request like no longer being shown that ad, you have to get into your ad set, and usually there's a custom list that, if you've got somebody that's an ad manager managing that for you, you're going to want to take their name off your list so that your ads don't continue to follow them around on Facebook.
Okay. Wow, that person would be really annoyed if they are doing
But it does happen. This is the thing, absolutely. That people tend to be very aware of their rights these days, and most of us are fine. We realize there's a trade-off anytime we go spend time online, but some people get super agitated about
absolutely.
Yeah.
I always find it amazing, right? Where you almost like say like, I need new shoes. And then you get on Instagram or Facebook and like all these ads pop up. Isn't that crazy sometimes? Or like,
my husband and I tested it one day. We were like, what is something that we would never buy? And we're like a bright blue pickup truck. We were trying to think of something that we would immediately be shown at. And it, sure enough, suddenly... and we just like both set our phones nearby and we talked for like 20 minutes about blue pickup trucks. And then we were getting shown ads for trucks. Yeah, it's a little scary.
Yeah, I turned Siri off my phone after that because I was like, this is crazy. They hear.
I know, they do. Yeah.
It's insane. Well, that's what we assumed with this Facebook stuff, was that it was kind of stuff that are out of our control. It's more so that if someone searches for a postpartum program, like our ad might then pop up. And
so the way something, it is in your control. So let's talk about that for a minute. If you turn on, absolutely. It's a good question. If you engage in retargeting, usually what that looks like is you get a pixel, right? Whether it's for Facebook, whether it's another platform, and you install that pixel on your website. So I don't know if you guys have somebody helping you with that, but it's a really common practice. It's how a lot of people are doing their list building these days, right? They're tracking who hits their website, who hits an opt-in, what's their conversion rate, all of this. And if somebody has clicked from Facebook to visit their website, they want to know about that because it takes multiple touches to get somebody to convert. And if you have a pixel that tracked that click, then you can, again, follow them around a little bit online, which is just the way advertising is done, right? There's nothing evil about it. It's just how it works. Yes, it annoys some people, but it's how online business works. So it is something that you control. Like you either engage in retargeting or you don't, but I'm just going to assume that most businesses that I support, that's going to be one of their strategies at some point, hopefully sooner than later, so that they are growing a database and they are doing their list building and they are able to show people advertisements that, you know, they can test the conversion on.
Absolutely. Okay, great. Thank you. I learned so much right there. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Yep, there's a lot.
Yes. Yeah. So those are everything I wrote down at this time.
Good.
I absolutely love your documents. Thank you. I feel so much better going into this process just because the legal part is the scariest thing and you made it so easy. So I really appreciate it.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that feedback. Well, it was really interesting because I presented to, and I don't know if you guys came from that same group. I presented to a group of pelvic health specialists, right? And I don't know if you guys lived in that. I think it's like a Tracy, is it Shearer? Tracy leads the group.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but
that's
she
how
had
we discovered
said,
you.
yes, she had actually said when we first connected, she was like, you know what, I've got so many people in my group who are not going online just because they don't have the legal stuff. They don't know what it is. And like that, I just don't want to keep, and that's why this whole year, my big push has been around the website protection package, getting people online, getting their businesses going, because, you know, we all need to be there. But I'm so glad for the feedback. Yes. And then pop back in anytime if you have future questions or something else comes up.
Great. Thank you so much. Yeah. And I will look at your past recordings because I'm sure I'll learn so much from those too. So thank you.
Absolutely. If you're on my list, a link to those gets sent in the weekly brief. Every week I send out a weekly brief. So it has some links to my YouTube channel with the past recordings.
Great. Thank you.
Awesome.
Really appreciate it.
Yes, you're welcome. Great to connect with you, Haley.
You as well. Take care, Heather. Have a good day.
Yes, you too. Welcome to Chris and Crystal. Hello. How are you guys?
Good. I wish I'd heard more of that. Boy, I didn't know you knew so much about the online world. So Michael Neely told me to
I'm going to keep on then.
Crystal, if you want to go ahead, because I'm dropping in here late, feel free and I'll step back.
Oh, Crystal, I can't hear you. Darn it. Yeah, the sound is really weird. I just can't hear anything. My sound is good. I can hear the other people, but something weird is happening with your phone. Let's see. And you're not muted on my end. Yeah, you can call in. Yep, totally. You can call in using the Zoom info or disconnect and come back. That sometimes fixes it. So try that. I'll talk to Chris for a minute, but disconnect and come back and we'll see if that fixes.
So being that I've spoken to you once, we're from Canada, but
That's
we have a headquarters in Michigan. Yeah. And so Michael Neely and Doug Sandler's course had mentioned couple of your contracts. So I think I had from an orientation perspective, your legal basics bootcamp video series. So is that where I should start? Because we're not putting out the podcast probably until December, and I'll have to reinitiate that conversation about the contracts you gave through Doug Sandler's course, because I'm in his course, but the actual live, I'm getting feedback.
No, that's okay. I think Crystal signed on again.
And the actual live Michael Neely said you did his contracts, which is great. So you've got some good people behind you, including you met him through Jay Fazette's.
That's right. And I've done all of Jay's online protection. Yeah. Jay's got a lot going on online. Yeah. So he is amazing. I mean, a couple things, the podcast piece of it. And did you say that you are both you're in Michael Neely's course? Is that the one that you're in, or which one?
I'm in the Zero to Launch Podcast Accelerator. Yes. And then in Doug's course, it's the Done For You course. I started off with him, but Michael Neely is kind of my main guy there, and Doug's my secondary.
Got it. Well, you have access to the same documents through both of them, so I'm happy to share that link for you. If you start,
I've already downloaded them, but
you have. Oh, perfect. Oh, got it. Well, if you've well, you're covered. If you've got those, then follow their training as far as how you implement them in the automation process, right? The key is really when you are setting up, like whether you use Acuity scheduling or Calendly, and you're going to have your questions for the podcast. One of those questions is going to be a yes or no box that people have to check. Do you agree to the interview release terms, right? And then you're going to have a link to those terms on your website. And so there's 2 documents. You're going to probably want the digital version of that interview release form, because the other one is a version and some people just don't have their podcast fully automated. And so it's like a contract that you would upload like in HelloSign or DocuSign and just email over to somebody. But it's the same terms. It's the same language, just different formats as far as how somebody signs off on it.
Also, there should be you went quickly for me, sorry.
No, that's okay.
I was trying to write it down.
That's okay.
I should go through that again because I noticed there was a release he uses the Acuity system, Doug.
Yeah, so you'll see that in both places you've got access to what's called a digital interview release, like the digital version, or kind of the regular traditional contract version. And it's just the only difference between those 2 documents is how they get signed, how they get acknowledged. The digital version, somebody acknowledges with a checkbox that gets tracked through your Acuity system or your Calendly system. The other one, and that's a little bit like, anytime you check off terms of purchase online and you check a box, like I agree to the terms of purchase, right?
Sounds like a better way to go then is
totally. If you're automating, yes, if you're automating and you want all of this, you've got your standard operating procedures in place. And Doug and Strickland's course teaches this very well, right? They teach you like boom, 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 boom. This is how you do it. Michael Neely does the same thing. I've looked at his, I'm going to be on his podcast here shortly. And so I've been through I've been through his system, and it's very, very similar, right? They've got all the questions. One of the questions is asking for your consent on that interview release form. And so, just follow their training as far as how you build it into your system. But, you've got the document, so you'll be taken care of.
Okay, so that should be something right on, because we haven't got we picked out somebody to do the website from AppSumo, and then Second Line Themes. It's a WordPress site.
Okay. Yep. And for the website, if you're interested, what I was talking about with Haley and what I've done for, actually, we did the website protection package for Doug and Strickland. I've done it for Jay Fassett. I did it also for Michael Neely. He went through the latest version of that training. That is, the website protection package will protect your website. The interview release form is specific to your podcast. Not everybody who has a website has a podcast. And so you'll be covered in both places if you get the website protection package. That is, what Haley and I were just walking through some little bits and pieces of. That gives you your website terms and conditions, your privacy policy, so that when you're collecting data from people online, you're covered. It also includes terms of purchase, so that if you're selling, like you're making sales online, you've got a sales funnel, you're covered there. And then built in is, key disclaimers, limitations of liability, very, very specific things that will protect you depending on what your online activities entail.
So many things I haven't been doing.
So, this is the reason why I joke that the online world is the wild west of business. People can put up a website overnight and be in business and really have no idea. And, it's great. Like, the opportunity is massive, and it's a little bit scary because just like speed limit signs, when we're driving down the road, we're presumed to know the speed limit, right? And in business, we're presumed to know the laws in business, and most people don't. So that's why I work really hard at education.
Is there a short introduction to where I can find the website protection package in the legal bootcamp?
You'll probably hear a bit about it. Yes. I'm trying to think if I link out to it. I'm also happy. You can email me with any specific questions, Chris, and I am happy to send that over to you. I can also post a couple versions. So I have a couple ways that you can get the website protection package. One is the standard way through my website. This year I worked really hard on delivering some live workshops for the website protection package. I actually had taken those down, but I've gotten so many requests for it, for people who missed the live versions that I gave, that I've actually given access to the recording. So if you're interested in that, you could actually get access to the version that like Michael Neely went through to get the website protection package implemented. So I have a couple of ways. The short version is that I've got a couple ways to get that plugged into your business, and I'm happy to email you some options on that.
Okay, so there you go.
So, yep. So if you just drop me an email there and say, Heather, send over the options for the website protection package, I can follow up with you.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to start, just because I think Susie, my wife, popped open 3 different websites to kind of separate our B2B brand from our B2C brand for career niche.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
then the American from the Canadian.
Yep.
So this will apply, I'm assuming, just to Canada, and then we have to adapt it for Canada because you don't do the Canadian side, you said, right?
No, I do actually have, because I have so many clients in Canada, I do have Canadian sets of documents. Yes.
Okay. So I should get, that's where I start though. And then do I need customization after I get that package from you?
Depends. Some people do, depending on their line of work and their business. And so I'm happy to chat with you about that as well. Some people are very well taken care of by the standard set of documents. If you want to schedule a chat to explore that, I will also just put my my Calendly link into the chat. That's how you can get a 15-minute call with me. It's an introductory call, so you're welcome to jump on my calendar there. But I can email you, some initial information about that website protection package, and then you can get on the phone with me if you've got any questions.
Okay, let me get that off to you right now.
Awesome.
That sounds awesome. You came very highly rated from both gentlemen. So Michael, he's such a sweet man.
Oh, yes, I love those guys. They're awesome. They're my new favorite friends in the podcasting world. And Michael's actually on my podcast. I want to say today. Are we doing a recording? It's today or tomorrow. And then I think I'm on his.
So I'll look up your podcast too.
Next week. Yeah, so my podcast is Guts, Grit, and Great Business. I can pop in a link for you if you want to check it out on where do you listen to your podcast?
I do Spotify more often, but I know Michael's trying to convert me to Apple.
I direct most people to Apple because that's where I get the most. Apple too. I have the most listenership there, and so it's a good place to like collect reviews and feedback and stars and all the things.
Okay.
But yeah, if you just look it up, Guts, Grit, and Great Business, but I can also pop a link over here in a second once my file opens.
All right. The Calendly I'll put into your CRM.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this.
You're so welcome, Chris. Yeah, great to connect with you again. I'll pay attention to the chat. If you hang out for a second, I'll pop that link in. But I want to say hi to Jerry. I want to also acknowledge Crystal, who's been hanging out. I know we were having a hard time getting sound going. Did your sound come back on, Crystal? No, dang it. Oh man, I wonder if that's settings. Are you on an iPhone or do you have an Android? Android. Okay, I wonder if there's a sound setting or something in your phone. Weird. That's too bad. Hi, Jerry. And I'm still going to grab my podcast link.
I'm actually, hi Heather, it's Jerry.
Hi, Jerry.
I wanted to hop on here, but now I don't have time because my client's waiting. So anyway,
I'm sorry.
But I actually have an appointment with you this week for a 15-minute
call. Perfect. So we'll be connecting. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, thanks.
Great to see you. Bye, Jerry. Bye. All right. So Chris, there is a link to my podcast on Apple, iTunes and Apple, but I also have a Spotify link I can grab for you. All the places. All right, there's Spotify. Oops, they kind of go just back to back there. Yeah. Awesome. Well, Crystal, bummer. I'm so sad I can't hear your voice. Darn it. I know, still nothing. If you have a computer, can you connect on the laptop? I'd wait for you if you want to try to connect. Sounds like your phone is being disagreeable today. Maybe it's unhappy that it's Monday. The funny thing is, it's not like I can get much done on the weekend. I was joking. I was looking for GIFs yesterday in my newsletter, and there was a really funny GIF of, oh my gosh, he's one of the funniest comedians, and of course I'm forgetting his name. Tall, goofy, has kind of curly hair. Anyways, there was a GIF of him like spilling wine on himself, like sobbing because it's he realized it's Monday tomorrow. But I'm laughing, like my whole experience of COVID is I don't know what day it is. I was just telling my husband, like it literally could, I just feel like all the time, like where am I? Like, where am I in the week? Where am I with anything I'm supposed to be getting done? it feels like the eternal marathon of, like, in regards to projects or house cleaning or anything, like dipping your toe in the water 1,000 times a day and never being able to go for a swim. That's my best description of COVID. Like, that's how far into anything I get. With 2 children at home full time, it's like I try to clean the kitchen and I get 10% done, and then I have to move on to something else. And anyways, c'est la vie. But I guess if we can't laugh about it, I would just be crying. So
do you have these calls once a week?
I do, every Monday. Yep, I started them in March when COVID hit. It was my way to, make myself very available to people on my list and serve them and try to help them do whatever it is they need to get done.
For your field, that's just amazing. I give you credit.
Oh, thank you.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah,
but I'm going to start trying to tune in, and I'm going to start with that process. But I'm going to go now. And
totally great to see you, Chris. Yes, if you talk to Michael or Doug or Strick, tell them hi.
I will do.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Are you connected? Maybe the sound? With computers, at least, you can usually, are you still on your phone, or is this through the computer? Phone, still on the phone. Okay. Just seeing if you can get through on the computer. Well, and I don't know, because I rarely do Zoom on my phone. I can't remember if you can even see chat at the same time, because if you've got a way to chat in a question or anything, I'm super happy to try to help you with it. But we'll give you a minute, see if you can get connected and actually talk through the computer using audio. So, now I hear you.
Oh.
Yes, now you're here.
It happens in moments, apparently.
What?
Or
yeah. What did you do?
I raised my hand. I accidentally raised my hand, and that let it happen.
Well, maybe you'd accidentally muted yourself, and we didn't know.
I don't know. It went to safe driving mode. Anyway.
Okay. You're
Let's
here.
take advantage of my 10-second window here. I was thinking, well, first of all, I want the info for the package.
The website protection stuff. Okay. Yep.
It's God, where do I start? I've been procrastinating launching my membership group. Now I say that knowing that it's about divine timing and it's about
totally. Yeah.
So I beat myself up for nothing.
I get it. I do the same thing. I get it.
So my business is rocking. I'm completely busy. Thank you. And the interesting thing that has come up is I have client contracts with my coaching clients, but then the people that I'm not coaching on a regular basis come for readings quite often.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm coaching, they go up so much.
Yeah.
So my coaching clients have my awesome, incredible, amazing contract that you made for me, which has saved my butt, mind you. Thank you. But then it's different with people who are just come for readings and things.
And how do you do your readings? Are they open? Do people have to sign up and pay? How do the readings? Talk to me a little bit about it.
Pay. So far, the only way I'm dealing with it is to say, entertainment purposes, your decisions are your own before we get into the call, right?
Yeah. Well, I just did this for another client. She normally works like long-term with her coaching clients, but also because of COVID, she started an online where people could just schedule like a one-off call. You know what I mean? They could just get on her calendar for 30 minutes or 60 minutes and she'd give them coaching. And so we just put terms in place for her for kind of that one-off stuff. That would probably be the fit for you. How do people get on your calendar? Is it an automated process?
Yeah, they watch a video, they click through a link, off they go.
Yeah, so if we just plugged some terms of purchase somewhere in that process where they get to see, a little set of terms of purchase before they pay, so it's not like bait and switch, they need to acknowledge them before they're able to give you money, that would really minimize your risk around any of that.
Do you have anything already set up, or would I have to work with you privately? I'm considering my team. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have one or two people that I'm working with to keep my membership going and running in the background so I can run free like the wild unicorn that I am. So.
And you just mean they're going to be doing some of the coaching?
No, just the setup. I'm talking about people loading up videos and
got it. Just getting it all put together.
Keeping the automation. So I'm wondering, like, because I plan on recording ahead. So, I can have like 3 months of videos up. Yeah. So if for some reason my web person ditches me, then I have time to like figure it out myself or bring someone else in. But like, I guess I'm kind of looking for direction on what kind of things I should be looking for in working with somebody else as an independent contractor who's hooking me up. What are the standards? I'm starting to understand that some people give like a portion of the profits or, that kind of thing.
Oh, to independent contractors. Yeah, largely depends. There's a variety of setups. So, a couple things going on. One, your website protected, right? And allowing, because those website terms they'll protect that membership site. Getting this funnel protected where you've got terms in place that are specific to these people who are coming in for readings, right? Sounds like you need to button that up. With independent contractors, I'll put a link in here. I have got independent contractor agreements that are templates, and they also come with a guide. The guide talks about how you manage an independent contractor differently, like what the factors are for looking at whether an independent contractor is truly independent versus an employee, right? Because a lot of people get themselves into trouble when they're treating an independent contractor like an employee, trying to manage their time, trying to manage how they do their work, right? And so that's where small businesses can get themselves into trouble. And so along with my independent contractor agreement, I provide that guide so that people have some awareness of what the factors are, so that if, they were ever under review or being scrutinized, they've done things hopefully the right way from the start and they're not trying to fix something midstream. I was just going to pull up, here we go, my individual templates link, because if you are wanting to get an independent contractor agreement in place, I've got 2 versions, and I just put the link in. They're available in my bundles as well. I tell people the bundles is where more value is at, but it covers a lot bigger portion of your business. And so if you have questions about the bundles or you want to chat about it at all, let me know. But this is where you'll see a wide range of the individual contracts that I provide, including the independent contractor agreements. There's a short form version and a long form. And the short form version is really and basically the difference is like 5 pages or 10 pages. Independent contractors who are sticking around for a time generally get to know quite a bit about your business, right? And so you need to have full protection in place around your intellectual property and protecting client lists and your systems and, all the typical things that you would think about. That's my sister, but I'll call her back when I'm done. Love my sisters. But like, let's say you're bringing somebody on for, let's call it like a 1-week project, and the time frame is very limited. The dollar amount is not very big. Probably you don't need that massive independent contractor agreement. You would need like the short form version that is not going to scare somebody off based on the amount of work, right? So like I've had people where they're like, I literally need to hire a transcriptionist for a day, right? To like do a bunch of document work and transcribe things. And it's like, okay, use the short form agreement. And then you have that agreement in place for any other really short-term, smaller projects. And you've got a key document that you can use. Now, if you are going to be working, let's say for 6 months or a year with somebody who's doing a very specific thing in your business, but it's more of a longer term thing, they're not appropriately an employee, like it's very independent work, etc. Like I'd go with a bigger agreement. I'd go for the bigger template because it gives you an addendum at the end that allows you to really define their work, make changes. And again, you've got then a contract in place that you can use if, you know, they wrap up their 6 months and you bring somebody new on. Like you'll have, and you'll be familiar with how to use that document in the context of longer term projects. And so, you know, really it's like the judgment call on whether to use the short form or the long form is, you know, what's the total dollar amount of the work they're going to be doing. If it's a bigger project, go for the bigger contract. If it's a longer time frame, go for the bigger contract. If it's short term, less dollar amount, significantly less risk to your business, you know, and you don't want to scare somebody away by putting a 10-page contract in front of them. That's why I made the short form version as well. Oh no, I lost your audio. Let's see. How do we get to hear you again? Darn it. 1 second. Okay. Phone just has a little mind of its own. It's like Heather did too much talking. I'm just turning off here.
Okay, wait.
There, you're back. You're back. I heard you.
Hear me now?
Yep.
So it's only when I raise my hand.
Interesting.
Okay then. All right though.
Weird. Okay.
I think it's in chats where the moderator is muting and unmuting. It makes me raise my hand apparently.
Oh, weird. Right. Okay.
I didn't used to do that, but okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what was I gonna say? There was clients.
Mm-hmm.
I help other clients start their businesses,
mm-hmm.
and they're starting to ask me questions
mm-hmm.
now, because now they're ready to take money and like do something legit.
Yeah.
About disclaimers and contracts. So
yeah.
do you have an affiliate?
I do. Situation? Yep. So,
I am on it.
Totally. And just so you know, because affiliates often share like through links online or through email, my affiliates, the requirement that I do have is that they have their own business protected legally, because the risk is high in an affiliate scenario. If somebody, for example, doesn't have their own disclaimers in place, you know what I mean? They don't know what it takes to like engage with their email list safely, and they're inadvertently spamming people. Like that risk carries over to my business. Right. This is also why I teach on affiliate relationships. But that said, I'd be very happy, especially if you end up, you know, putting the website protection package in place. We could absolutely chat about it, because one of my favorite things is obviously helping people get their businesses started and making sure that they do that the right way, so that they are not bringing a whole bunch of risk in the door. And I'll share with you my affiliate link in advance, just so that you walk through it and see what kinds of questions.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about it both ways. I'm like, okay, I can sell Heather's stuff because it's awesome and people love it. Like anytime I've showed anybody my contract, they're like, who did that for you? I'm like the greatest lawyer ever.
Oh, you're so cute.
And then on top of that, if I want to start bringing people into my own thing, then I want to have my own contract for my own affiliate. So, you know.
Totally. And I've got, you'll see actually in that first link that I gave you, the individual templates, you'll see I've got an affiliate agreement in there, so that for anybody that starts their own affiliate program, they got that covered. I've got joint venture agreement. Those agreements also live in the Business Evolution bundle. So I've basically got 3 bundles. One is the website protection package. One is what I call the working package, which covers all the work that people do, the consulting, the coaching, the interviews, the speaking, right? There's a lot in there, and you can click through to any one of them and you'll see the list of what's on the inside. And then the Business Evolution package is all about the ways that we grow our business to the next level through third-party relationships, affiliates, independent contractors, joint ventures, you know. And so I just am letting you know that those templates are available individually and they're available in that bundle. But it really, you know, I try to make it as accessible as possible, but for people that need like a whole area of their business supported all at once, the bundles are a good fit. Oh no, I lost you again. Let's see.
Lower my hand.
There, you're back. You're back.
Oh, this time I lowered the hand.
And and now you went away. So try it again. Put your hand back up. There we go.
How about now?
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
This is so funny. I know.
Zoom's game.
Right?
So I have my regular contract. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people come to me in an unusual way to move into a coaching contract. So I might find myself on the phone all of a sudden, not prepared to be, handing them that contract over. They're not in front of the computer. They're like on a beach somewhere.
Yes.
So I have, in a pinch, because I record all of my phone calls, read the contract or done a synopsis of it with layman's terms, right?
Yes.
And said, here's the sections, here's the outline. Do you agree? Yeah. This is recorded to cover my butt. And then I send it after the fact and I tell them, let me know today if you have a problem with this, because after this, it's a go.
Yeah.
So far I haven't had any issues, but like legally, how am I doing?
Well, I think that's fine. I mean, first of all, good for you for walking through it. That's awesome. And I think it's fine to do that initially. I would at some point want them to receive an emailed version of the contract that they sign.
I give it to them immediately thereafter. I ask them to look before midnight that day.
Yeah. Nope, that's great.
Okay, good. Whew.
Good job. Most people probably wouldn't take the time to verbally walk through that. So good for you for doing that.
Yeah, I figured it would save a lot of trouble just to take a couple minutes to go through it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good. And then I make sure I have them and I have a backup of the recording. I immediately make a backup for later because I coached them for years. So this could come up at any time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Did you answer all the world's problems? Oh, side question. Do you know tax attorneys?
Depending on what you need. And is this, remind me where you're based.
California.
Do you have a CPA or an accountant?
No.
Okay. Well, I've got a referral for you if you want one.
I would.
Okay. And I don't know, because he's a really good strategist. So for example, if your business is growing and you need to change your entity structure, like let's say, and I don't know what you currently have in place, like if it's an LLC, if you've got a C Corp, he's really good at strategizing about where you're headed and helping you do the right things. Like I've noticed some tax people and some CPAs are just like, they look backwards. They don't look forwards.
Yeah. I don't want someone who's just doing the numbers. I want someone who's strategizing, seeing where it's going. That's exactly what I want.
Yeah. So with this guy, I mean, you pay more than you would for somebody that literally is just looking at your books once a year and putting the numbers down, but you have quarterly meetings with him.
Oh, fabulous.
Quarterly strategy sessions with him where you get to show up and ask any of your financial questions and he works through it with you and he gives you strategies for that year. So
good.
Yeah, if you will drop me an email and remind me info@legalwebsitewarrior, I can send you all that stuff, including a referral to him.
Fabulous.
Yeah, he's awesome. He does very high level work.
All right.
And he's based in California.
Yay.
That's
great.
Yeah, good questions. Anything else?
How are your kids?
So busy. So good. So busy. We did a really funny project yesterday where we made fairy lanterns. So I got these little jars that we covered in glitter on the inside, and then these little wires that light up.
Nice.
And you coil the wire down into the jar, and then you put they're basically like black cutouts, like fairies or a dragon, or because I did them for both my son and my daughter. It was really fun. And then they have these little handles. You screw the lid on, which is where the battery sits to light up the little wires, right? But the batteries kept falling out. So I literally was losing my mind yesterday, like so regretting that project, because all I did yesterday was help them put their little fairy lanterns back together like 100 times.
Oh my God.
I know. I finally figured out, like, if I put cardboard and then tape, like a lot of tape over the back of those batteries, like they basically won't fall out when those little things get dropped. So You know, we're just being busy doing all the things.
That's great.
Yeah, it was fun. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I have found that it has been an interesting time here in Southern California with the fires and the earthquakes and the masking situations, and it's been a roller coaster.
A lot, yeah.
But you know what I love? I love that I was working from home before the pandemic. I love that it only actually made my life better.
Yeah.
I'm rocking and rolling. My business is awesome. And I love that more people now are realizing, kind of going into a job and dealing with this person where I don't have security is leaning me towards starting my own business. So I'm feeling like we have arrived.
Oh, good for you. That's awesome.
And I'm really loving that it's forcing people, because I'm in the psychic world, right? So I have to make sure that the people in my being that come into my aura are really cool people, which is why I love this. Is like the only lawyer I've ever loved, right?
Thank you.
So I have this secret little joy that everybody is being forced to awaken and like hear their mind and decide what to do with their life and like really eat their own stuff.
Yeah. No,
and like
true.
level up to the rest of us, to the ones that have been trying to be a better version of us. So I'm finding it a lot more peaceful, that everybody's learning to calm down and hear their own shitty thoughts. And but it's exciting because everybody's, coming up with new options. I cannot tell you how many readings I've done, and they're asking me about career. They lost their job for the pandemic, or they have
totally.
God, I talked to a guy yesterday and he's like, I've been out of work for 6 years and I can't figure out what's wrong. I finally just went in there and gave him a freebie reading, and I dove in because he wrote me 6 months ago with the same thing. And I'm like, all right, you obviously need some help. I know you're broke, so let me just hook you up. Turns out that both him and his wife hasn't had work in 2 years. I don't know how they're living.
Right.
that was what my dad asked me. He's like, how are they living? I'm like, I have no idea. That wasn't my concern. My concern was to fix them. Right. So it turns out they're not meant to have a regular job. They're supposed to start their own business and do the coaching for every brilliant little thing they know, and they're gonna rock it when they start doing their own teachings.
Nice.
So guess who I'll be sending them to when they need relief.
Well, thank you. I try really hard to take good care of people.
It's been great. And I'm super excited to know you have, because I knew I was bugging you when I first met you about, you should package this up. And
it's all packaged. Yeah, it's all bundled.
I took a nap, I woke up, and here you are with all your packages.
I love it. I know. No, it's good. It's it's been a really fun. I mean, it's been a lot of hard work. Let's be clear, like taking something essentially out of the traditional legal world and trying really hard to make it accessible, to anybody who's really serious at any level of business about protecting stuff. Yes.
Because we don't know what we're doing.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So it was why I really enjoyed Haley getting on today and asking questions about her documents that she'd been through. And, I had the training on that. And so
I also liked, because I didn't know you had the docs. I thought I'd seen an email here and there fly by, but I never got a chance. So I thought I'd take advantage of the fact that you were live today. Now I know you're weekly. I'm just going to come poke you all the time.
Totally. You should. I love it when people do that.
So watching her ask the questions and realizing that those questions came not from personal coaching or private sessions, just from the package that she purchased from you, showed me how much she learned from what you provided, and that she was crossing her T's and dotting her I's and just wanted to make sure. And it sounded like it was pretty damn complete. She got everything she needed. That makes me really happy and excited about getting this stuff from you.
Well, thank you. Well, it was so nice to hear her say, like, I feel so much better. Like, that's how I want people to feel. And one client,
nobody has a checklist for that.
No, and they don't. And because you're in, I mean, you understand the coaching world. Like, there's this thing called tolerations, right? We tolerate a lot of things that we're not aware of that we carry around with us. And one of the items in business is crossing our T's and dotting our I's, like making sure we've got a solid business foundation. A lot of people know they don't, but they don't know what it entails. And so it hangs out here for a while because they worry about it.
Yeah.
And so that feeling of like, and I had a client, do you know Jay Facette?
Yes.
Yeah, Jay described it this way, where he said, I didn't realize I was carrying this backpack around. He said, when you delivered my legal documents, and we spent, like, Jay's got a big online, he's got a lot going on, and we spent like 2 or 3 hours on the phone going over the documents, making sure he knew how to implement them all the right way.
Right.
Like, I feel like I took off a 50-pound backpack. And he's like, I didn't even know I was carrying it around. He's like, we got done, and he was like, I was like, woo! Like, he just felt so much lighter.
Honestly, it's like a 250-pound backpack. And that's only from the one document that I got, which is my coaching contract from you. Because the reason I came to you in the first place is because I lost a $10,000 coaching client. He paid me up front. Now, in the end, I know, spiritually speaking, he was never meant to stay with me. It was to show me the lesson so I could keep my money.
Right.
Because it was 24 hours and poof, he was gone. I was like, oh, you weren't going to stay. But it was purely fear. And had I had the contract, I would have been able to walk him through the fear and keep him going. That contract has saved so much of my money and my clients, and really afforded them the option to not have time to have fear. As much as they wanted to sit in fear and victimhood and freak out at the whole process, as soon as I brought up the contract, I'm like, look, you don't have any other choice. You committed to yourself, and I'm not quitting on you. So let's just do this. And then they relax. They relax.
Well, it's
they
just
relax.
That's right.
No, that's right. Relaxing.
Well, human nature, we're just so funny. Like, anytime we commit to something that feels big or out of our comfort zone, like, our old programming kicks in. Like, wait, what is this going to do? Maybe I can't do it. Maybe I'm not supposed to, and we do all these things to talk out of it.
You know what? I honestly believe that getting that contract changed my income. And not just because I was able to keep what was coming, but I truly believe that it gave me confidence, and my confidence shone through when I was speaking, and people were like, oh, she knows what she's talking about, so we just better do this. It was the day after the contract changed my whole business.
I love that, and the number of times I've been told, like, even when I help somebody, like, and because here's the thing is, people get a lot of conflicting advice, like even setting up your business, like, oh, should I do an LLC? Maybe I should just stay a sole proprietor. My accountant is telling me I'm not making enough money, that I just need to be a sole proprietor, right? But when they take the step of taking care of their business, what you're talking about is like this beautiful side benefit where they then show up differently in their business. They are more empowered, and they automatically do better.
It's kind of like, I listened to somebody, I think it was Larry Cornett. I don't know if you've seen him online, but he put up a little video. It was 1.5 minutes, and he was talking about boundaries. And he said that the next time your boss asks you if you could work late, and you don't want to, so you make this excuse that oh, I have my kids thing, or I promised to do this or whatever. And then he's like, but you're not really setting a boundary. You're putting it off until the next time he asks you. He said, next time, just say, I just don't do that. That's not my morals, my principles, my ethics, etc. So having a contract like this lets both me and the client know what we can get away with, what we can expect, what we're going to do.
That's right.
And it just takes all the tension out. It really, really is a huge thing. And once you put your foot down and you set your boundary before there's a problem, it's so much easier to prevent issues rather than dealing with them after they come. I tell you, it's been so much easier since I've had this contract.
I love that, but it's really true. The thing, people often get nervous about implementing contracts because they think like, oh, it's a fence. It's going to be like a dividing in somebody. People feel that way, like, oh.
You know how I do it? Because I'm really uncomfortable with that, right? Like, I don't like taking money. I don't like contracts. I never wanted to do that in the first place, which is why I learned my lesson. Yeah. And I mean, I'm in integrity, but are other people? Yeah. Right? Yeah. So that's right. So now we don't just have to go off of our words.
No, it's true. And I tell people that a contract actually protects the relationship. It really allows you to stay in relationship with somebody without that tension that you just described. Yeah. You can be like, oh, well, this is what it says, and so here's what we're going to do. And then people are like, oh, okay. It really like streamlines not only the way through the work, but if a problem does come up, streamlines the way out of that problem.
Yeah, it really does. It takes care of it very quickly. And, you know, it was really great too, because I had a sort of friend who came back as a coaching client after 5 years. It all came full circle, right? Yep. I was like, you were there when I started in a park as a meetup group. Now you're here with my contract. Like, whoa. So she breached our contract, and it was somebody that I knew. And I said, oh, this is going to be interesting. Let's see how this turns out. Right. So I was cool about it. And I let her give me all her excuses and everything. And I said, look, COVID, I get it. I'll suspend our payments or whatever till X amount. Just communicate with me. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what you need. I'm still going to be here for you. And I'm not even going to charge you right now. And the thing was, she only showed up for like 4 sessions over 4 months, weekly coaching. She just whatever, right? And I still had her on the calendar, but she didn't realize she was still paying every week, right? As for our contract. So when it finally hit her, she was like, I'm not paying for this anymore, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, in the end, I ended up just letting it sit. And I said, I'm going to call it a wash. I collected money from her for sessions that she did not attend. And I'm going to go ahead and let her out of the contract. Why? Because I know that she knows the value of the work, and I know she'll be back. And she's already been back. Right?
Well, and hopefully she shows up differently this time.
Yeah, she did. She was very honoring this time. Very, very honoring, very humbled. Yes. And I let her know that first time around. I said, if I wanted to be, and I said, not even me, not just legit get what we agreed to, I could easily take you to court right now and get the rest of my contract. Yeah. And I said, but I'd rather not give you a hard time and go through the pandemic. I'm gonna let it slide. Yeah. This one time. Yeah. But
well, and this is what I tell people is that if you don't have a contract, you're not able to do that. You're not able to give gracefully like you did because people don't perceive it that way. Yes, if you don't have a contract, then they're still going to be irritated. They're going to think that they should get something. Like, it really does change the dynamic of the relationship.
Yeah, because it could have been that she would have been like, I want a refund of all the sessions I didn't attend, but my contract made that a non-issue.
Right. That's exactly right. And so people often don't realize, like, the contract is actually there not to protect one side against the other, it's to protect the relationship, right? Yeah. So,
and it really did, and we're still friends, and she still values my work, and it works.
That's awesome.
It really helps. It really helps.
Oh, I love that feedback. Oh, good. Well, I'm so glad that things are going well for you, and that business is strong, and all of that. That makes me happy.
Yay! And I can't wait to start sending people to you. Now I know where to send them.
Yes. So check it out. Go to my partner center, because all you have to do once you're on that page is you just scroll down and there's a little thing that says ready to submit an application. And if you click there, that's where you enter all your information, and then it'll end up in my Infusionsoft system. And I can create links for you to share to various resources.
Awesome. Okay, so let me see if you pop up in my Gmail real quick. Hold on, I'm gonna try to send you an email so I know. I'm sure.
Totally.
My computer's decided to take its sweet time.
Yeah.
It knows it's Monday.
Right.
Your info?
Info at legowebsitewarrior.com.
Oh, I think I have your other address, which is Heather.
Oh, okay.
Info at legalwebsitewarrior.com.
That's right.
All right. Cool.
Awesome. Well, good. So good to connect with you again today.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So happy
yay.
to know that you've created everything that I desired.
Well, and check it out because, if you've got people that are asking for like one-off templates like that, we can create an affiliate link for that individual template page, which you could share, anytime. The bundles as well, if people are interested in the bundles, if you have clients that are farther along and want bigger chunks of their business taken care of. But it'd be really fun to get you inside my affiliate system.
I'm so excited. And if you ever need a live testimony or whatever, you know where to find me.
Awesome. I love it. That would be amazing. All right.
I need a testimonial person.
Totally. Thank you.
Your biggest fan.
Oh, I love it. Well, it's so good to see you live again today.
Yes.
I see you on Instagram and I like. Yeah.
Yes, and I've seen you've shared with your friends, told them what's up. So thank you for that.
Yes, absolutely. Alrighty. Well, I've got to run. I've got to go get my flu shot today on my, I know, fun little detour.
Yes. Well, thanks for hanging out and putting up with my technical difficulties. This was fabulous.
It's so good to see you. Pop in anytime and we'll follow up via email.
All right. Awesome.
Okay, awesome. Bye, Crystal.